Dear learners, as we enter week 8 of the online course Introduction to Distance and Digital Education, I extend a warm welcome to each one of you to the first module, which is on distance education and administration. In our previous modules, you have gained familiarity with distance education, including its necessity, relevance, and emergence in current circumstances. Now let us delve into the realm of educational administration in its module. The main objectives of this module are to explain the meaning of educational administration and to identify the distinction between educational administration and other types of administration. Now, in the introduction part, we will begin our discussion with the basic concept of administration of distance education. Following that, we will delve into differentiating educational administration from other administrative domains. As a process of development, through distance education, an individual acquires knowledge, skill, attitudes, and behavior that would help him or her to adjust and lead a meaningful life in the society. However, the task is not so easy. That is why the society entrusted the responsibility of educating an individual to some organizations or institutions. But there must be a systematic procedure or a machinery to run or manage an organization smoothly. Thus, administration is a procedure or machinery through which the manifold functions of an institution or organizations are managed. Educational administration is a comprehensive effort to direct, guide, and realize the specific goals of education. To understand clearly what it means, we shall have to first go through the meaning of educational administration and the definition of educational administration. Furthermore, it is crucial to understand the diverse administrative and organizational structures established to facilitate and enhance open and distance learning system globally. Now let us explore the concept of educational administration. Education comprises of various intricate elements or components including students, educators, staff, resources, facilities, finances, regulations, and more. All these components have to be managed properly in order to run the entire process smoothly. Educational administration deals with all these components of education and integrates the different parts into a comprehensive whole for the smooth functioning of educational process. We all know that for any process to run, we need different components, a proper procedure, and a machinery to fulfill its specific end in view. Educational administration is a comprehensive effort to integrate different components of education to achieve the aims and objectives of education. It is a dynamic side of education which generally deals with the educational practices. Educational administration always deals with an educational organization or institution, right from school, college to the university, or any other institution of higher learning. It also deals with the different aspects of education such as planning, decision making, implementation of educational policies, evaluation, framing and implementing rules and regulations of institution, finances, and different problems of pupils, teachers, employees, and above all, realization of some specific aims of education. Thus, educational administration deals with the total management of an educational institution or organization. The main purpose of educational administration is to apply the procedure of organizing, ordering, facilitating, and improving the efforts of the people associated with the task of implementing the ultimate goals of education. Now let us come to the definitions of educational administration. Once we grasp the essence of educational administration, it would be useful if we go through some of the definitions of educational administration as put forwarded by different educationists. According to Graham Belfort, educational administration is to enable the right pupils to receive the right education from the right teachers at a cost within the means of the state, which will enable the pupils to profit by their training. According to J.C.B. Sears, in education, administration contains much that we mean by the word government and is closely related in the content to such words as superintendence, supervisions, planning, oversight, directions, organization, control, guidance, and regulation. According to Gratian Kafauver, educational administration approaches statesmanship when there are clearly formulated long-term policies and objectives, and when day-to-day activities and problems are dealt with under the guidance of the perspective is given by such long-term policies. According to National Society for the Study of Education and SSE, educational administration is a social statesmanship which guides educational activities, plans, programs and facilities, and provides leadership in a long-term but broad social perspective. With this definition given by different educationists, it must be clear to us that educational administration renders service to the society in its march towards progress at the societal and individual level. It is concerned with all the activities that assist fullest utilization of resources for education and its purposes through the procedure of organizing, facilitating, ordering, and improving the efforts of the people in the realization of the aims of education. Educational administration plays a crucial role in the effective functioning and success of educational institutions. Here are several reasons why it is important. Number 1, effective resource allocation. Educational administrators are responsible for allocating resources such as funding, staff, and facilities in a way that maximizes educational outcomes. By efficiently managing resources, administrators can ensure that students have access to quality education and necessary support services. Number 2, curriculum development and implementation. Educational administrators oversee the development and implementation of curricula that align with educational standards and meet the needs of diverse student populations. They work with teachers and curriculum specialists to design programs that promote student learning and achievement. Number 3, student support services. Educational administrators are responsible for providing a range of support services to students, including counseling, special education, and health services. These services are essential for addressing students' academic, social, and emotional needs and promoting their overall well-being. Number 4, staff recruitment and development. Educational administrators are involved in recruiting, hiring, and retaining qualified teachers and staff. They also provide professional development opportunities to help educators to improve their teaching and stay current with educational trends and research. Number 5, school climate and culture. Educational administrators play a key role in creating a positive school climate and culture that fosters academic excellence, respect, and inclusivity. They promote a safe and supportive learning environment where students feel valued and motivated to succeed. Number 6, community engagement. Educational administrators build partnership with parents, community organizations, businesses, and other stakeholders to support educational goals and enhance the overall learning experience for students. And number 7, policy development and implementation. Educational administrators work with policymakers at the local, state and national levels to develop and implement education policies that promote equity, access and accountability. They ensure that policies are effectively communicated and implemented within their institutions. Thus, it is essential for ensuring the efficient operations of educational institutions, supporting students' learning and development, and promoting positive outcomes for all stakeholders involved in the education process. Now, let us discuss the nature of educational administration. Educational administration is a comprehensive effort through which the goals of education can be realized. In other sense, through educational administration, the progress of a society as well as that of the individuals can be achieved. In its ambit, it comprises the concerned people such as teachers, students, parents, employees, and the resultant coordination amongst them. In addition, it also encompasses all the available resources through maximum utilization of which the goals of education can be realized. Through educational administration, the process of organizing, ordering, facilitating, and improving the work nature of people can be obtained through the ultimate fulfillment of the aims of education. Now let us learn about the classification or the types of educational administration. Different educationists classify educational administration in different ways. Generally, we can classify the educational administration into two types. One is external administration and the other is internal administration. Now, what is external administration? By the term external administration, we mean the administration which is imposed on the educational institutions from outside, that is by the government or some other statutory bodies. The concerned educational organization or institution should strictly follow these administrative rules and regulations. Some of the issues related to external administration are framing of rules and regulations for the institution, selection of textbooks, selection criteria of the faculties, framing of curriculum, payment structure of employees, fixation of total working days, etc. All these directives are decided and controlled by the external authority so that uniformity prevails amongst all the educational institutions. This also helps to manage the educational institutions systematically and in a planned manner. Examples of external educational administration include oversight and regulations imposed by entities such as the Department of Education, accreditation bodies, and the government agencies like University Grant Commission, UGC, etc. Now I am coming to internal administration. Internal administration refers to the organizational management led by the head or principal, along with their support staffs, which may include colleagues and students. Its purpose is to oversee the daily operations and programs of the institution, ensuring alignment with the established rules and regulations mandated by external authorities. In other sense, it indirectly helps in smooth functioning of the external rules and regulations imposed on the institutions. In addition to this categorization, educational administration can also be classified differently. It can be categorized as democratic administration and autocratic administration. Now, what is democratic and autocratic administration? Democratic administration is that administration where the educational institutions are set up, organized, and where they function according to the democratic principles and values. In democratic administration, the educational institutions strictly follow the main principles of democracy, that is, the principle of equality, freedom, justice, cooperation, recognition of individual work, sharing responsibility, leadership quality, etc. The main aim of this type of administration is to develop the individual as a democratic citizen of the country who gives priority to individualistic as well as societal development. Now, autocratic administration. Autocratic administration is a centralized setup where the authority or the head of the institution exercises full power and control over the organization comprising the faculty as well as the students. Rooted in classical theory of human organization, this type of administration entirely depends on the decision of the head of the institution, and all the other factors like faculties and students are mere passive instruments. The head of the institution decides on the rules and regulations of the institution, prepares the course content, takes decision on the textbooks, and plans and manages all the activities of the institution according to his or her own views. Now let us discuss the distinction between educational administration and other types of administration. All types of administration basically have the same objectives, that is, to realize the goal through utilization of all the resources in hand. It ranges from defense, trade, and industry to all spheres of human development, thereby involving all the concerned groups of the people or the entire humanity. Some of the factors which differentiate educational administration from other types of administration are goals, purposes or motives, number 2 methods and techniques, and number 3 evaluation. Now let us come to goals, purposes or motives. General administration or other types of administration basically aim at the maintenance of rules and regulations through which law and order can be enforced, but educational administration aims at the development of human personality through which the entire human welfare and prosperity can be realized. In other types of administration, no effort or attention is given for the inner development of the individual, as it is not based on ethics and philosophy. On the other hand, educational administration is strongly rooted in clear philosophy. Now I am coming to methods and techniques. Methods and techniques play a crucial role in framing the administrational policies. In case of educational administration, the main thrust is given in the welfare of the people. So the nature of the methods and techniques applied here is mostly persuasive. But the methods and techniques applied in the other types of administration are mostly authoritative and dictatorial. Though authoritative measures are very much essential in running administration, yet the main difference between the educational and the other types of administration lies in the measure of democratic principles that are applied in the educational administration for the welfare of its people. Now, evaluation. Evaluation is one of the most important factors to know the result or progress of an activity. It is the qualitative and quantitative measurement of any activity. In other types of administration, the evaluation process is very simple and objective, but in case of education, it is very complex because it deals with human personality. Therefore, standardized tools are prepared to measure the human personality in different ways to give a holistic and accurate evaluation result. In our next module, we will talk about functions of the administrative organization of open and distance learning. Thank you.